Welcome to another Let's Play of TownCraft, the isometric crafting and town building game for iPad. We've gotten quite a few requests to do some more Let's Plays showing off different scenarios and other stages of the game, so we decided to start with our newest scenario, Desert Island. In contrast to the watery or foresty environments in other scenarios, this one isn't in either of those things. So without further ado, here's Lee talking over some of the gameplay in Desert Island.
Let's play TownCraft. Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm getting slightly demented. This is the third one of these I've recorded in a row. So here we are on the brand new map, which at the moment is yet to be released. So I'll probably end up putting this one out when that's all done and dusted. Now, it's called Desert Island. It's no secret as to why. It's because we're on a desert island. That's why we're on a desert island. So, as you can see, it's just you and a whole bunch of palm trees at the very beginning. I've got a game which is sort of midway through at the moment. I've got a couple of buildings. A few of my first crafting tables are already built. Oh, and I've got an iron hatchet, which is significantly better. Now, those little question marks that are coming up are not strange bonuses of some kind. Whenever we don't yet have an art asset done for a new item that we're putting in the game, it just appears as a question mark until we get it done. So those question marks are stand-ins for one of the new items for this level, the coconuts. So this is what we've done here. Ordinarily with any other crops in the game, you pick them up as a crop and then you can plant them as a farm, and that's how it works. But in this instance, these things are trees that will just exist and regrow like regular trees, but they can also be created with the cunning placement of a coconut. Don't ask me how the logic works, it does in my head. So there's a couple of really tricky parts to this map. First of all, this little patch of greenery here is the only greenery in the entire island, and as you can see, not a very big island. So first things first, use any and all space that you have for your buildings. Any space you have on the sand for your buildings. Second thing is that these coconut trees are the only crop that can grow on sand. So I'm just going to place a few more of them down here, which will give me a bit of room to start my very own potato farm here. So what ends up being tricky about this is that the only way to get crops is to do quests for people. And the quests generally only give you maybe one or two of each crop. So I've got 2 potatoes, yay me, but I've only got room in this little patch of grass just here for, 2 of each crop if I'm lucky. And then a little bit more space up here. So what I'm going to do is just clear a bit of space by moving this stockpile fellow over here, and that'll at least give me enough for like a little 4x4 down here. Now, we didn't make you completely stranded on this little island. There is a bit more to it. What I've done is I've built a bridge out to this place, which has a couple of the other basic necessities. We've got iron, we've got sand, and hopefully coal. So do I already have my... Oh, no I don't. Pickaxe. Done. Now let's find us some useful resources. So getting a farm going is going to be incredibly tricky for anybody in this map. The first time our playtester had a go at it, he was really determined that he wanted to try and get a gold star on his first go, and I don't think I've ever seen him quite so near the point where one of his blood vessels was going to burst. But I'll never say which one. And what we have is a whole lot of stone. 7 days left. Some sand, which I will go ahead and grab. And some iron. All well and good. So there's enough to get yourself kind of started. You can already see that I've gone to town with getting a window and fireplace and that kind of thing sorted. I've already got enough room for a windmill, not that that would really do me any good until I can get my hands on a little bit of wheat, but what I can do is make a couple of other fine buildings like these ones. For those of you who don't know, wooden sticks can be turned into doorknobs. Wooden planks plus 2 doorknobs equals doors. And once you have doors, you can start building the wooden plank style buildings. Or, with enough small stone, the stone style buildings. Now, since I've already got a couple of these other ones, I think I'm going to have to go with some small stones. You can craft big stone into small stone. And just for fun, let's see what this merchant's carrying. Hello! Loom, iron stove, silver bracelets, coal. I might run out of coal at some point. Alright, well, let's see. First of all, I'm going to need a candle, because if I'm going to get a mine to capture all of that iron out on the tiny little island, it looks like the only iron deposit on the whole level, I'm going to need a lantern. So what else does a lantern need? A lantern needs short iron poles. I've got a furnace, so I can make those myself, and I also have sand, so using the furnace I should be able to get all the ingredients I need to get a mine up and running. Yep, easily done. I usually just stock up on everything when I'm doing this. Sand, we'll need a couple of glass panes. Go to the crafting table. Use my 1 candle. My glass panes and some short poles. Get a candle. That's given me enough for a mine. So let's just chuck that right down here. And I'm now a shantytown. What the town ratings actually do, by the way, is increase the number of people who come to visit your town. And after you've got a high enough rating, some of the people who do come to visit will be nobles. The advantage of having nobles is that they have different quests and that they will spend a whole lot more money. So let's say I want to turn this thing here into a shop. We've had a couple of people ask questions about shops, so let's do this. I will put my stove over here. I could actually leave my stove in there if I wanted to and still make it a shop. We didn't put a rule in against it or anything like that, but it just felt odd. I thought the shop should have a big counter in it and not a stove, but that's my personal preference. These little bushes here are just a way of getting sticks early on. We wanted to include palm trees, but it occurred to us that the rationale that you're going to be snapping off small branches for your very first sticks doesn't really apply as well to a palm tree. Hence the shrubs. So the next question is, do I have twine? No. Do I have access to twine? Well, possibly. Let's check with our merchant friend here. Perfect, got some twine. Now, what else does one need? Iron plates, which I've got, short iron poles, and twine. That's how I make some scales. That should be everything then. The reason I might want to pick up gold bracelets, by the way, it's quite useless for me to buy them right now. Gold bracelets, if I bought them, I'd be getting ripped off slightly. I don't have enough money even. But if I tried to sell them straight back, I wouldn't be making any kind of profit. If I can get my hands on some gems, I can mix them with the gold bracelets and then sell them back and make a little bit of money off the top. Meanwhile, I actually quite like having these little 2 palm trees here just next to my first building. So, iron plates, iron short poles, twine. 1 set of scales. Iron tool bits, wooden planks, counter. Wooden counter, scales, sales counter. And I do believe I've got myself a shop. Ta-da, we get a little sign out the front, and that'll be operative once I can afford to get a peasant in there to work for at least a couple of days and get everything happening. So now what happens is when I stand next to the thing, this little icon in the top left of some scales appears, If I tap on that, I can start dragging things in there, like the iron cutlery. That'd be an easy win. What else would be sellable? All I've got here really is components. I need to get some finished products together to chuck them in there. Ooh, pumpkins in exchange for coconuts, you say? I accept your epic quest of coconut. Perfect, I already had them. 2 pumpkins, 6 coconuts. Let's add to my farm. But not before I take up the opportunity to trade with yet another... Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. I'm really a little low on money here, though. But I have ample coconuts, so I will sell those coconut bowls, which could change to coconut halves in between now and the time we launch this level. I'm not 100% sure. In any case, I feel certain there's something here I'm going to want. I've got access now to a permanent amount of iron, so that's not an issue. I don't have any gems, so getting the silver rings or the gold rings or bracelets is also pointless. The iron stove I can make myself, the loom I can make myself. I am actually stocked up fairly nicely. But what does this other merchant have to say about my stockedness? Veggie pizza, gems, hello. Okay. I'm going to grab a veggie pizza. And here's why. If you watch the other Let's Plays, you might know this trick. We actually added this one in late the other year. By the other year, I mean 2013, but who's counting? So we've now got 2 pumpkins and 2 potatoes, and 1 pizza tree. This tiny little slice of pizza that you can see here on a little sprout. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is how pizza's made. I was raised vegetarian. What do I know? Let's do another quest. 6 coconut bowls, like the ones I just traded. Well, fine. All she was going to give me was some potatoes anyway, so I don't need her. Now, in this map, if I remember correctly, people generally have a fair bit of money. Louise upon Tweed here has 2 gold and 87 copper, which is not an insignificant amount. It's not amazing, but it's not nothing either. So, in this map, people are fairly rich, which means that when it comes to selling stuff from the shop here, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to put some fairly large-scale things in there. The iron cutlery is incredibly cheap, even a peasant could afford that. But if we were to put something really big together, let's make something, actually. Iron long poles can be crafted into iron long blades, like so. Wooden sticks and iron tool bits can become hilts. The hilts with the long blades can become swords. I personally find that swords are a great way of making a little bit of extra cash, selling them off to merchants and things. The problem is, the swords are worth 86 coppers each. Now, even that merchant that just passed by had 2 gold and 86 coppers, so they could probably afford to buy all 4 of those swords, but that would be it. Of course, the merchants don't actually shop in your little store here. That's for peasants and nobles only. The merchants are just there for you to go and trade with on the street. But they're professionals, they're good at this, they rip you off. Potatoes. So I'm going to give it a wrap here, which is not really a phrase. Give it a wrap is not a phrase that ever happens. I think I was thinking of give it a rest, and then I was thinking of wrap it up, and I couldn't decide. Don't judge me. So I'm going to give it a rest wrap up, and I'll leave you guys to enjoy the Desert Island map, which should be coming out in about 2 weeks. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy TownCrafting. Bye.